Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Now, yesterday I said there was still time for compromise, and so I am glad to see that the Government has finally gone for some degree of a consensus approach. And there is no doubt that what will be in the statute book is an improvement over the legislation that was initially introduced back in the autumn. And I would like to acknowledge the Minister for his engagement over the bill. I'd also like to thank my Liberal Democrat colleagues in the Lords who have played an important role, and to our staff teams across both houses. But I do still have concerns about the bill. One of them, for example, is the Office for the Internal Market. The Government needs to be transparent about what role that office will play in future trade deals. Can foreign investors in a US trade deal use it to undermine the devolved nations? I've asked that question repeatedly. And I'm also conscious that the legislative value of this bill might in practice be limited, or indeed pretty much non-existent, especially if we reach a trade deal and a standards agreement with the EU. And clearly we need more clarity on the veto point raised by the Honourable Member for Stone. But unfortunately, as I pointed out yesterday, these changes, while positive, are too late because the damage has already been done. The Minister heard the speeches of the SNP members yesterday, but I wonder if he listened. With this bill, the Government has this autumn been pouring fuel on a fire, as the front bench spokesperson, Honourable Member for Manchester Central, alluded to. So the question that I do ask the Minister is this: what has it all been worth? If the Government is committed to the future of the United Kingdom, it needs to start acting like it. I cannot count the number of newspaper articles I've read over the last year reporting a reset in the Government's approach to the Union, or that a new Cabinet Committee has been set up to finally solve the Government's problem when it comes to relations with the devolved nations, or that the Prime Minister is going to love-bomb Scotland. I urge the Government, it's not about committees, it's not about grand new offices in Edinburgh, or bridges, or indeed tunnels over or under the Irish Sea. Those of my constituents who are uncertain about where they want Scotland's future to lie will not be convinced by Union Jacks on UK Government infrastructure projects. Cat-handed stuff, as the passage of this bill very clearly illustrates. What they will be convinced by is a UK Government which treats the devolved nations with respect, with maturity, with honesty, which works together with the devolved nations to find consensus. Because I do believe that we have too much in common for borders to divide us. Are we in this place capable of that? I like to believe we are, but for too many of my constituents it hasn't felt like that over the last few months with this bill. So I do urge the Government, compromise and consensus were the reluctant final steps it took with regards to this bill. And noting the Honourable Member for Carmarthen Eastern comments in relation to the Welsh Government's statement, let those first steps it takes in its future relationship with the devolved nations be that compromise and consensus. Thank you.